What up, my champion in training? It's Reemus here, and welcome back to Fire and Fighting, where we speak how to think like a champion. The topic of today's video is inspired by Conor McGregor and his words on Floyd Mayweather. Now, the reason why it's important, well, the best person to learn from is a person who's already done or been successful in what you want to do. The reason why is because, well, if they've done it, well, then they know how to do it. But then if you want to learn more than what another person could learn from that person, you can't just rely on what that successful person will specifically tell you that they've done or have done. One of the reasons why is because a lot of times successful people in some stuff or masters in something don't even know the specific steps that took them to be successful in that thing. And it may seem crazy, but sometimes they really just don't. So then what you have to do to still get value or as much value from them as possible, what you can do is look for the signs, look at the little things that other people wouldn't see, or think about what they say and say, well, if he's saying that and he's successful or mastering what it is that he's saying, then how could that benefit me? And why is he saying it? Where is it coming from? What place is that coming from? How could I internalize that myself? So then one thing I do is I look at the speech and a lot of interviews from great fighters. And a lot of times I know they probably couldn't relay the message of what they're actually doing, but I'm able to now see what it is that, or at least take clues from what it is that they're saying and say, well, if he's putting so much importance on this thing, then there must be a reason. So then back to the topic of Conor McGregor, one thing that I noticed that Conor spoke about highly after, he lost to Floyd Mayweather was how cool, calm and collected Floyd Mayweather was when they got into the ring. So the quote of the day could be, he was so calm in there. When you think about it, Conor McGregor mentioned how cool and how calm Floyd was in that ring so many times, and it's the same thing that Andre Berto mentioned. It's the same thing that other opponents mentioned. It's the same thing that Cus D'Amato raved about. So if all of these people are saying this thing, then there must be a reason why. Now, when you think about it, I've watched a lot of Floyd Mayweather interviews, probably as much as you've watched. And what I've noticed is that in the last at least decade of Floyd Mayweather's career, what I noticed was every time the pace of the interview was high, or the energy was a bit higher than what he wanted it to be, he would just take a deep breath, he would relax, he would slow it right back down to what he wants. And that's one of the reasons why Floyd Mayweather never ever really got caught out in an interview, at least in the last decade, I think, because it was always on, every social interaction I see him have is always on his terms. So then when he gets into the ring, it's easier for him to stay in his world. It's one of the reasons why when Conor McGregor I actually think Conor McGregor's wordplay and whatnot was actually maybe a bit better than Floyd Mayweather when when it was the face-off. But one of the things that Floyd would do was he would never rush an answer. If Conor would heighten the energy of the press conference or whatever, or try to really give it that high energy feeling, Floyd would always just relax, just take a deep breath, let it come back down to what he wants and to what his emotional baseline is happy, is operating at. So that way he never falls into the world of another fighter. He never falls into the mind. Like, his mind is never taken over by another fighter because he's always okay with being in his own reality. And one of the reasons why, one of the clues that indicate that he's able to do that, or why he's able to do that, is that he always slows the interaction down. And he even does that in the ring. When things are getting a bit uncomfortable for him, he just slows everything down. So how can this actually help you? Well, think about the times in training or even in social interactions where people heighten the energy or the emotion of that interaction or that activity, And maybe that's when you start to fall outside of logic or fall outside of what you actually want to do. Is because in that moment, you knew you effed up. But in that moment, you actually fell into the world or the reality of another person. So in order to keep yourself from doing that, it might sound crazy, but to keep yourself from doing that, one step you could do is simply relax. Simply take time. Simply just have a second. It's okay to operate at snail's pace sometimes. The turtle wins the race. It's okay to slow things down so that you can then think logically, think from a place of calm and a cool head. You can just simply do what you want to do. Now this video is talking about being calm, but more so, I also want you to take from the fact that champions always give clues. I mean, past champions and even current champions, they always give clues to what made them successful if you actually just open your eyes and open your ears to things that you wouldn't initially see. If someone who is a master in something is harping on about the same thing every time, even if they don't know it, right? If they're harping on about the same thing repeatedly, then that means there must be a reason why. And you have to kind of investigate that reason why. If you can get to the same place that they're from or operating from when they're thinking about that certain thing, then you might be able to get that same result in that same thing. So I know that may seem, I don't know if that seems a little bit confusing, but the mission for you to take from this video is to simply slow down. You don't always need to rush. You're a champion. You're a champion. Make them wait. Let's sit back. Make them wait. I know with my videos at least, this has helped me because sometimes, even like now, you can hear it with the way I speak. I just slow it down a little bit. And then I realized this is kind of what helped me to realize when I slow things down and don't rush what I'm trying to say, I can actually articulate it a little bit better. And now I don't have to just take so many takes just to get one video done, because I just slow down. Just take a deep breath, champ. Just take a deep breath. Just slow it down and the results will speak for themselves. So I hope this video helped you in some way. If it did, like, subscribe, comment and support, because I'm really trying to build this channel up now. And I hope to see you in the next video. So that is Reemus signing out.